Pardon me for the bright sunlight hitting my body because it's currently mid-morning. But anyways, back to the video. Alexander the Great once stood over a dirty homeless man resting in the dirt and said, "I am Alexander the Great." The man looked up, squinting, and replied, "And I am Diogenes the dog." Alexander asked if there was anything he could do for him. He could have offered gold, palaces, or even power. Diogenes simply waved his hand and said, "Yes, stand a little out of my sun." Today, we are looking at a portrait of the only man who could humiliate the conqueror of the world. This is Diogenes, painted by Jean-Léon Gérôme in 1860. And while it looks like a painting of a beggar, it is actually a painting of the freest man who ever lived. And I feel my life has just begun. Jerome captures him in his home. It wasn't a house, it was a pitos, a giant ceramic jar, usually used for storing wine or grain. He lived in a piece of Tupperware on the streets of Athens. Look at the texture Jerome gives us. The stone is cold, the city walls in the background are imposing, but Diogenes sits center stage, naked but for a ragged cloth. His skin is weathered, beaten by the elements. Most portraits of philosophers show them in robes, holding books, looking dignified in libraries or schools. Think of Raphael's School of Athens, they look important. Diogenes looks like a nuisance. He looks like the guy you cross the street to avoid. But look at his face. There's no shame. He is lighting a lamp in the middle of the day. When people ask him why, he famously replied, "I'm just looking for a human." He meant that he saw people everywhere, shoppers, soldiers, politicians, but he couldn't find a single authentic human being. Everyone was wearing a mask, everyone was playing a role. He called himself the dog. In Greek, the word for dog, like, is kynikos. This is where we get the word cynic. Today, being cynical means you're negative, distrustful, but the original cynicism was something much more radical. It was a philosophy of nature. Look at the dogs in the painting. They are his companions, but they are also his teachers. A dog doesn't care if you are rich. A dog doesn't care about the stock market. A dog eats when it's hungry, sleeps when it's tired, and bites you if you annoy it. A dog has no shame. Diogenes believed that human civilization was a trap. We invent rules that make us miserable. We buy clothes we don't need to impress people we don't like. We work jobs that destroy our bodies to buy houses we are never in. Diogenes looked at the rat race of ancient Athens and decided to simply stop running. We love the idea of minimalism today, but our version of minimalism is an aesthetic. It's expensive. It's white walls, the MacBooks, and capsule wardrobes. It's a style. Diogenes practiced violent minimalism. There's a story that he owned only one possession, a wooden bowl to drink water. One day, he saw a peasant boy drinking water by cupping his hands. Diogenes smashed his bowl on the ground and shouted, "Fool that I am! This child has beaten me in simplicity." Jerome paints him with nothing because he is nothing, and yet he looks powerful. By owning nothing, he had nothing to lose. You couldn't even steal from him. You couldn't exile him. The world was his home. You couldn't embarrass him. He didn't care what you thought. He was invincible because he was vulnerable. Emotional, damn it! This painting is also about loneliness, but not the sad loneliness of Stanchik or the contemplative loneliness of Rembrandt's philosopher. This is aggressive loneliness. This is the loneliness of the critique. Diogenes was the original troll. He would walk backwards in public arcades. He would eat loudly in the marketplace, which was then considered a taboo. When Plato defined human as a featherless biped, Diogenes plucked a chicken, burst into Plato's lecture hall, and threw it on the floor, yelling, "Behold, I brought you a man." He forced society to look at its own absurdity. When we see him in this jar, we are looking at the mirror. He is asking us, why are you so obsessed with the things that don't matter? There is a final, haunting irony to his life. Eventually, Diogenes was captured by pirates and sold into slavery. When the auctioneer asked him what skills he had, Diogenes replied, "I know how to rule men. Sell me to someone who needs a master." Even in chains, he was free. And that is the terrifying question this painting asks us. We look at him with pity. We see a homeless man in a jar, we see dirt, we see poverty. But if Diogenes could see us today scrolling through our feeds, anxious about our likes, terrified of missing out, drowning in debt to buy things that will end up in a landfill, how would he look at us? I suppose he wouldn't pity us, he would laugh at us. We cannot live like Diogenes, we cannot live in jars, we cannot smash our cups, but we can light the lantern. We can look for the human inside of ourselves. We can ask, just for a moment, if the things we are chasing are actually valuable, or if we are just afraid of the silence. Alexander the Great said, "If I were not Alexander, I would wish to be Diogenes." He understood that while he conquered the world, Diogenes had conquered himself. Hey guys, Marco here. Make sure to take my videos with a grain of salt. No, pardon me if I mispronounce some stuff or like I need more detail. But feel free to explore the topics regarding my videos and stuff. But don't forget, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you would like to support me.
Wow!